Hello and welcome to a very formal edition of Simon Paschal Says. Paul and I are dressed and ready for the upcoming Dallas HR Stars Gala, our awards gala that is Saturday night at the Westin Galleria to honor those in the HR profession who have done some fantastic things this year. So we are ready to go and ready for the party. And in doing so, we thought now might be a good time to tell you, as employers and HR professionals, some things to know about your upcoming holiday parties. Paul?
That sounds perfect. So one thing to remember when we have our holiday parties is even if they're off our premises, even if they're after hours, that employers, we still have a duty to our employees to, one, maintain a safe work environment, but two, also ensure that employees are free from harassment. So our tips to ensure that your holiday parties go off without a hitch, where we don't have complaints of harassment, are first to just remind your employees that even though this is after hours, that the company's policies still are in place, and so employees are supposed to hold themselves to the standard that you've set for them. The other thing is also to remind employees of the complaint process. So if there is an issue that arises during the party, that they know who to contact, how to make their complaint, so that you, the HR personnel, can quickly investigate and ensure that whatever occurred, there's proper discipline that results from that. So those are kind of the two main things to consider when you have your holiday parties.
So beyond the harassment piece, there's a couple of other things that employers have to consider. First of all, when you're dealing with your non-exempt employees, you need to remember that the holiday party, even though it may be after hours, if it's something that's required, or at least there is an expectation of the employees that they should be there, that's going to be something you want to compensate those non-exempt employees for. Obviously, your exempt employees get their salaried pay, so you don't have to worry about those really, but your non-exempt employees need to make sure you're compensating them for the time at the holiday party, even though that seems a little odd to think about. You got to pay them to party. But then also, if they're due overtime, if that kicks them into over 40 hours, make sure you're compensating them for that. Beyond the compensation, you have to think about alcohol. Most holiday parties have some sort of alcohol at them.
The good ones.
The good ones, yeah. So something to think about. The safest bet as an employer is to either hire a TABC-approved bartender if you're going to do your party on site at your facility. Hire someone like that can monitor and do the work of serving the alcohol, or do the party off-site at a location that utilizes TABC certified bartenders. That's going to be your best bet. There is one note that when it comes to social host liability, that doesn't really apply to employers unless you take some affirmative step to stop your employees or to aid your employees, and we'll talk about that in more detail later, but the safest bet to kind of avoid that whole quagmire is to just use TABC certified bartenders, have them do the work of serving and cutting people off and things like that. But there can be a whole host of issues there that you need to be mindful of, and you should probably consult with your attorney if you're planning to have a party that's got alcohol, just to be safe. So those are kind of your tips for your holiday parties. You can still have fun this holiday season. You can still have parties for your employees, make them appreciate the workplace, but make sure you mind your P's and Q's when you're doing it. So we'll see you at the HR Stars Gala or somewhere else if you're not going to be there. Cheers.
Cheers.